Hey guys, today I want to address the increasingly more popular rumor about Amazon potentially joining Hedera's governing council. Now, this is not the first time this rumors came up and is not fully substantiated. Again, I want to emphasize rumor zone. However, a lot of the pieces really kind of fit. The technology is there, the need is there, there's enough networking connections that everything kind of makes sense. So in this video today, I want to go a little bit more in depth about what's the odds this rumor can actually happen? Why would it actually happen? What benefits could there be? And a little bit more about the testing protocols that really help support that whether Hedera goes with Amazon or not, things that they have done or have been working on that Amazon could use, and a few other cases of similar technology that involve SpaceX, which Hedera's already been partnered with before, and now even NASA is knocking on the door. So I want to talk about a little of that today. So that intrigues you, stay here, hang out with me during this video. And if you've been here a few times before, or you get anything from this video, please do press the like and subscribe button. Of course, this is just information. I don't even know if I'm going to get into anything about prices or any of that kind of jazz in this, but if I do, nothing's financial advice. Just letting you know my thoughts and opinions and information that I have. So let's move forward, talk a little bit about this Amazon rumor, NASA, SpaceX, and a bunch of other wonderful things about one of our favorite little tokenized crypto, Hbar. Okay, so this Amazon rumor, this is not a new narrative, but it has been increasing specifically over social media, which is where I've heard most of it, compared to, like SEO, CEOs really talking about a network connection in there. So though there's not any large substantial, hey, it really looks like going this direction in the near future, there is a lot to kind of substantiate and to show how this could be a good partnership. And personally, I do think that this is a strong, likely addition to Hedera's cancel in the near future, meaning in the next 2 years or so. Right? We know that Hedera wants to get up to 39 seats. We know that they have 3-year contracts for the governing council, and they like going for these large companies. And there's a lot of things that fits in here with Amazon. It'd be from a big Hedera fan, it would be awesome to see Amazon join the likes of Google, IBM, Dell, Boeing, Ubisoft, Standard Bank, all the other wonderful people on the council, and just adding up more of these Fortune 500 companies. So other than just saying, oh, hey, this sounds right, Amazon's a big company, Hedera likes big companies, let's get a little bit more into that of why would Amazon actually care and why could this actually be a good fit? So AWS, also known as Amazon Web Services, they have a set of multiple blockchain-like technology or related services through Amazon that's being set up to be used in that kind of manner. Pretty much all large companies and corporations are shifting towards blockchain technology, whether it's for payment processing or tokenization, both of which Hedera is splendid for. Right? AWS blockchain services surpassed $1 billion in revenue just in Q3 of 2025. We have Amazon with a $600 billion supply chain modernization, and this fits perfectly with tokenization and Hedera's fixed low fees. The reason why so many large companies like payment processing through Hedera is that's a flat rate, where most of the time the rate changes in a lot of blockchains based off of how much money or transactions are going through. Hedera keeps it set of promoting people to use large amounts because it's only a fraction of a percentage of a penny for every time. In one regards, people bash Hedera for this because this, in theory, slows down the rate that they can make money, but it also just makes it so it's set up for the larger corporations that really can't be held on Ethereum or Solana due to the constant transactions that are go. When you have Hbar that can get up to 10,000 TPS, that's just not something that a lot of the other blockchains can handle. There are a few other ones. We also know that AWS already hosts multiple Hedera nodes behind the scenes. This is not an official partnership. You can look at that more of an investment or just them acknowledging that they really like the technology of it. But that is an early setup, and we know that they're familiar with each other at the very least. And rumors don't come from nothing typically. And if this ends up being confirmed to any capacity, this could be, I would expect this to be another large price mover for Hedera. And many times when they talk about a new governing council member, if it's one that is known more by the general population, it moves the price. Not to mention how big this could be for the future revenue that comes into there and how much money Amazon would likely end up saving with if they went the payment processing route through Hedera. Now, with that being said, there's another big opportunity for Amazon and Hedera that has nothing to do with payment processing. And this actually comes down to a little connection that they might have of using drones for Amazon delivery. Let me quickly add this is a little bit of fact with a little bit of speculation coming in here, and I'll try to keep it separated for you. In short, the companies and direction I'm telling you is fact. How it actually turns out is speculation. So something I could easily see, and I want to see, I'll be honest, is Hedera partnering with Amazon with their drone systems. So Amazon has been talking for several years and testing in small amounts drone delivery for at least like Amazon Prime and dropping packages literally off to your door with drones. Have them fly over, find out exactly which square inch it has to land on your doorstep, avoiding Fluffy or whatever wild animal that we have in our houses that we call pets, and then fly off and return home to base. So Amazon wants to do this. They've not been quiet about this for a while. There's also, like DoorDash, Uber Eats. There's a lot of companies that have talked about this process. So Hedera has already been tested for this. They've been tested on, we'll call it a small global large use scale like drones, as well as a large scale small use with SpaceX. What the hell does that mean? So Hedera has been partnered with a company called Nexus. Nexus is a drone company, and they were using Hedera to help out with the GPS component of it to constantly send information back and forth through satellites and other nodes to know where the drone is, where it's going, where to return to. Again, just that way, if you're having a drone that's delivering anything and you need to land out house B on the porch, that doesn't land on Pouch S in the tree or wreck into the car across the street. Right? It doesn't need to go very precise and straight down. And Hedera's worked with Nexus on this. They've been used, they've been tested, and it has appeared very successful. So though Amazon has their own technology that they would likely use for a drone-based system, it's going to be built on blockchain technology, and Hedera can be slid right into it to make the whole process cheaper, faster, and easier. And this is the one that gets me more excited. I mean, yes, I would love to see Amazon come in and use payments directly through Hedera. I would want to see the drones even more so. Now, we've also already seen Hedera use this technology on a much larger scale, physically larger, with working with SpaceX. Hedera is, I believe, the only crypto who's actually gone into space. It is the only one that has literally gone almost to the moon. Right? It's been used for the satellites to ping back and forth, collect and store data, and it's very effing good at it. It's also now being looked at by another decently sized company called NASA. NASA specifically called Hedera ideal for mission critical telemetry, where Ethereum's 12-second blocks, it just wouldn't cut it, right? They ran beta that logged 900,000 plus daily transactions, which is 450 times what Ethereum's peak throughput has. So I just like comparing everything to Ethereum because Ethereum is still the gold standard when it comes to corporation use for crypto. And Ethereum's not going to go anywhere. I'm not here trying to say that Hedera is a lot better than Ethereum. I do think it's a lot better as technology than Ethereum, but Ethereum is going to be held there for long periods because of all the institutional demand and the entire narrative of layer 2 that's been built onto it, to where it's actually cost effective and feasible to be used. But when you start talking about Hedera being used for satellites, being used in NASA, SpaceX, droning GPS, it's also been at least trial ran and military grade reliability. So there's a lot of big uses with this in Hedera, and they can all interact incredibly well, and just greatly expands on Hedera's already massive use case. Now, To clarify, at least from everything I have read, it has not been official that NASA is going to use Hedera, but it does appear that they're testing it, they're looking into it, or at the very least, they're going to carbon copy it, but it's going to be a lot cheaper to use a product that is already out there, integrate it into their blockchain-like tech versus trying to build it all completely on their own. Let alone, Hedera is one of the few companies right there with Quant of it's already being set up to protect against a major realistic threat, which is quantum computing and quantum algorithms. And this is not going to be the purpose of this video to talk about that in much detail. But if you're going to be used for satellites, which it's not that it will be, Hedera is literally right now used for satellites, it needs to be protected from the future quantum computing. We can't let someone hack our Bitcoin or our financial systems, and we sure as hell cannot let someone hack something like a satellite that can be tied to military information and use cases. You can think about that one on your own. But Hedera has already been built and architecture put in to be anti-quantum computing in terms of being able to protect against being hacked. Now, quantum computing really is a big threat to crypto in the near future. I really think like in the next 5 years is where the threat could end up being. And apparently I'm not the only one who thinks this, because a lot of crypto companies right now are working on making themselves quantum proof by changing their algorithms and a bunch of nerdy stuff that is way over my head on how they do it. But when you have companies like Hedera that's already ahead of the game on this one, they're going to be chosen for more of this for sensitive information and sensitive data type of utilities. So lastly, just what are we looking for going into 2026 with Hedera? In the perfect situation, right? Amazon or a similar sized governing council edition is going to add more instant credibility for explosion of Hedera prices, both the Hbar token itself and the income that ends up coming through. Having a council of 35 plus members also is going to just increase the triggering of institutional inflows, right? More money that comes into Hedera, the more money goes out of Hedera, the happier the investors are, right? Enterprise TVL could easily end up breaking 1 billion. Space integrations continue scaling with 88 satellite deep-in constellation models out there. And then it's quantum secure, right? This branding gives Hedera a moat 99% of change just simply cannot match. They are trying to catch up to it. So that's plain and simple, right? Hedera is just building something different than a lot of other crypto and blockchain-like companies. And so this is something that really intrigues me. I was always excited by the idea of them hopping in with drones for delivery systems, because I could just see how that can expand in so many other ways, where we can end up using blockchain technology for drones for doing construction, moving beams, building houses. And I mean, it's just another factor that scares the crap out of me about AI growing. That's a conversation for a whole other video. But let me know what you guys think about Hedera. Do you think this Amazon rumor is going to be validated anytime soon? Who else do you want to see come join the governing council? I'm really curious your opinion on that one. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below, and I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.